the keyways, you know, the keyway from the output input shaft right here on this transmission was facing kind of like 90, like facing out towards the right side of the car. So I just kind of, you know, guesstimated it, got it 90, held the drive shaft stiff as I could, and tried to insert it. And once I did that, you know, obviously it didn't go try, but I have a little rule. I was thinking, you know, maybe, you know, pull out and twist just slightly just to get one teeth over. Maybe do that about 5 times. If it doesn't go in, then pull it back out, go back 5 times, and then start back at 0, and then go back left 5 times. And one of those teeth, I mean, like I said, once you eyeball it and kind of pull it up in here, it should go in. Mine slid in pretty easy right now. That being said, I did grease on the inside of it just to help it slide up in there a little bit better. Just a little bit. Just tiny bit of lubricant, not too much. You don't want to go crazy. But now I'm here. But like I said, that was after removing the catalytic converter and that sleeve with the 5 torque bolts. And now the drive shaft is on. I'm going to put the new bolts in, and we're going to go from there. Removing it, I would say, some people say cut it. You don't have to cut it. In my case, it was sheared off here, so I had a harder time removing the actual bolts in this leftover bracket from the drive shaft, because it was sheared off and the drive shaft was just kind of banging around up here. So the worst thing I'm gonna have to do is prevent the catalytic converter from getting so hot and burning up the grease in the U-joint, and then this U-joint failing again. So you gotta look out for that. Make sure you have the heat shield there. It goes here. You can see it's all got all mangled up. So I'm gonna be replacing that. I did want to let you guys know, I put a jack stand under here because I didn't have a second jack, right? So I got it jacked up here. I dropped these subframe bolts on the transmission just to get it a little bit lower, so I could put the input shaft angle up a little more to have some more play up in here, because it's really tight. I mean, you know, there's really no play. So that being said, I put the jack stand there just in case it dropped a little too low. So whenever I did drop the jack, it have some support under there. It could push that plate and the transmission back up to be able to reinstall these bolts. Make sure before you reinstall the drive shaft bolts, you pick the shaft up itself and then reinstall that plate.